Redditors who have won a contest to hang out with a celebrity or band for a day. How did it go? Was it better or worse than you expected? Absolute best experience of my life. I ended up running over Bruce Willis. If you ever get a Make-A-Wish, ask to meet Kevin Smith. I was a bald, chommy freaking mess. My dad contacted Make-A-Wish. They came out and asked me what I wanted. I said him. And within a week our tickets were bought for us and our trip was planned. Usually takes weeks, months for celebrities to get back to Make-A-Wish. Kevin had us whisked out to New York to meet him on the set of Cop Out, then called a couple of Willis. He met me with the biggest bear hug of my life. He was the nicest, sweetest, most genuine celebrity I could ever imagine. I spent the entire day on set, met Tracy Morgan, Bruce Willis, manhandled all the equipment they would let me touch, and in the middle of it all Kevin says, "Hey, you wanna be in a movie?" "Yeah, I wanna be in a movie." "Okay, I'm gonna have you run over Bruce Willis." "Thanks, Kevin Smith." So if you watch Cop Out, I'm the student driver that runs over Bruce under the L train. At the end of it all, he invited us back to his penthouse overlooking the Statue of Liberty and let us see the rough cut of Cop Out. I spent all day and night with him. My life has been miserable in comparison ever since. When I was about 12, my mom won backstage passes to Huey Lewis and the News. I met Huey Lewis and then we got to sit in the front seats. He routinely pointed and sang at us throughout the show. Unfortunately this was 2004, so I was surrounded by middle-aged women screaming at him. He was a nice dude. Even though my mom told him I sang one of his songs as a little kid and named a song that wasn't his, as we learned a couple months ago, he just went along with it. My father-in-law got in an elevator at a convention. Huey Lewis was in it. My father-in-law says, "Oh wow, you're Huey Lewis." Huey Lewis responds, "Oh wow, your Doug last name." Father-in-law is in shock and asks how he knows his name. Huey Lewis points to the convention name tag my Phil is wearing. When I was like 4 or so, I won a contest to have lunch with Lou Ferrigno. This was in the late 70s, early 80s when the Incredible Hulk was running, and I was a huge fan. So I was totally disappointed to find out that his skin wasn't really green. I also remember that we had funnel cake. Yum. About 5 years ago I won a work competition to spend a day with Hugh Jackman on the set of Baz Luhrmann's Australia. Was the nicest, most sincere guy. Never forgot my name and introduced me to everyone. Total legend. He's one of the few actors you could never convince me is a shitty person. I saw a video recently of him recognizing a reporter at an event as a student of his from when he used to be a teacher. He seemed so happy about it. Edit. Paul Rudd also. In 2009 I entered a vitamin water contest to meet Adrian Peterson just for the heck of it. I ended up winning. I got to talk to him for a solid 2 hours, then watched a movie with him. I got to bring my dad with me and we both had a fantastic time. He's my dad's favorite player and he nearly broke both our wrists with his handshake. I also got an autographed jersey that I got framed. He was extremely pleasant and seemed genuinely glad to be there. Oh, and I got a year's supply of vitamin water, which was pretty sweet. Ever since that experience, I've entered every contest I come across. My wife, when she was a teenager, won backstage passes to meet NSYNC on their first tour. She got a kiss from Justin Timberlake. I am just a little jealous. You call him up and demand a kiss from his wife. It's only fair. I met Richard Simmons at Walgreens. It went exactly as you'd imagine meeting Richard Simmons at Walgreens. Well, I won a contest with Radio Disney to see a Seattle Sonics game with the band Jump 5. I was 10, so at the time it was pretty freaking cool. Not much to brag about now. This is single-handedly the most outdated event in history. A friend of mine got to meet Roger Bumpass, Squidward from SpongeBob, and overheard him curse. My friend said, "Squidward, you said a bad word." Roger turned to him, looked him in the eye, and said, "The frick I did." He then chatted for about 30 minutes and took a picture. Those are sentence enhancers. I met Hanson by winning a drawing thing they do for their fan club after most shows. I've been a huge fan since I was 12. The three of them arrived looking rather glazed over, shook our hands and took pictures without asking us our names or saying anything other than a polite greeting, and went on their merry way. Polite but impersonal. You could definitely tell that they've been through the motions too many times. In 2001, I won a trip to Hollywood and a meet and greet with Jennifer Tilly. She was an absolute peach. Friendly, bubbly, personable, gorgeous. Everyone was telling her how much they enjoyed her in Bullets Over Broadway. I was the only one who told her I loved her in Bride of Chucky. She giggled and told me that was her favorite too. I have loved her ever since. When I was maybe 12-13 years old, there was a contest on the radio to win a free lunch with Buzz Aldrin. First successful trip to the moon and the second guy to step foot out onto the moon, Apollo 11, at a Planet Hollywood's awesome similar theme restaurant. The question on the radio was simple: name the 3 men in the Apollo 11 mission. My mom, who was driving me to basketball practice, swore the third guy was named Shepard or some other name. But I, a kid who was into space for a bit, knew that it was Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. My mother pulled the car over, called in, got through, and used my answer instead of hers. We won. I got to skip school to go to the restaurant and get a free lunch. I barely got to meet Buzz Aldrin though. This was probably around 1997 to 1998-ish. So Buzz was in his mid-late 60s. He had a table set up and he was signing autographs. I brought an original Apollo 11 poster my mom had saved away in the closet. Totally forget how she had vintage 8x10 glossy prints of all the astronauts and a super cool metallic print poster. But basically I said hello to an old man. Told him I knew the answer to a radio show, got some things signed and a photo was taken. Then I sat down and ate a burger with my mom. Pretty EHH, but hey, got to skip school. TLDR. I won a radio contest to meet Buzz Aldrin of Apollo 11. I was pretty young and I didn't care. When I was 3, 1993-ish, my mum won tickets to go see the Wiggles at the Fremantle Town Hall. Anyways, once the show was over, me and my friend keep on dancing and playing in the hall. While our mothers talked, we were the only four left. As the Wiggles were leaving, they noticed us and played with my friend and I for a 20-minute. My dad worked on Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. I got to meet the Ninja Turtles, hold Leonardo's swords and hang out on set in the junkyard scene with the Foot Clan. It was kind of a big deal. Helped install Tom Hanks' home office, computers, printers, etc. He was really nice. Does that count? He gave the two of us cookies. D. Dude, I'd take cookies from Tom Hanks any day of the week. A friend of mine had cancer back in 2nd grade. The Make-A-Wish Foundation set him up to go with a friend to meet Fall Out Boy. I got to be that friend. We got front row tickets to one of their concerts, and we got to go backstage and meet them. I don't remember a lot of it, but they were really cool dudes and they gave him a signed guitar, so that was cool. In 96 I won a contest to meet Adrian Paul of Highlander. We chatted about nerdy stuff and years later when I had my firstborn child he contacted me to give congratulations. I still to this day don't know how he had my number or knew we were expecting. Pretty cool all around. Maybe the kid was his. I won a contest for a meet and greet with Cascade, GA floor tickets to his Atmosphere show and VIP tickets to his after party. Cascade was great. He came on the tour bus after the show and I was able to talk to him about his favorite tracks and how it was like to be a DJ as well as the past gigs he went to. He really loves his fans and I was lucky to get an autograph and picture with him. Some other people weren't so lucky because of Cascade's time constraints. Overall a pretty awesome night. Me and my cousin hung out with RuPaul once. He tricked some random guy into thinking he was an actual woman. It was pretty funny. I know we had pics but I honestly can't find them anymore. RuPaul's Drag Race wants you to do an AMA. When I was 15, Tweekend had just been released. I got one of the first copies, which had a contest to win tickets to Cyberfest, a huge concert, 5 stages or some crap, with backstage VIP passes to meet the Crystal Method. I won. I never win anything ever in my life. Never ever. My mom wouldn't let me go. I didn't have an appropriate person to go with and give me a ride. Someone she was sure wasn't on drugs, and she didn't want to chaperone me. Goodbye $200 tickets. Goodbye. I still haven't forgiven her for that. I'm so sorry for you. That's genuinely horrible. I won a contest to see and hang out with Less Than Jake perform an acoustic concert at a guitar store. They were extremely nice and even drove me to their concert that was later that night. I always remember it was in November because we talked about Thanksgiving traditions and they each talked about how awesome certain foods their grandmas made were. Back in 2009, a friend of mine got us backstage to Nin for a quick band meet and greet. Trent had been someone whose music got me through adolescence, so I was pretty amped to meet him. When it came time I walked up, we did the standard everyone pose for a photo, see above and afterwards I said this is random, but I've got to know, are you a dig or Reddit guy? He looks at me, and I'll never forget this. Actually, dude, Kevin Rose is a good friend of mine. I'm definitely a dig guy. Well, I'm the co-founder of Reddit. Jeez, I'm sorry dude. I thanked him for the photo and walked away. It was still a great show, and things worked out okay in the end. The moral of that story, kids, is to never meet your idols. Back in 2009, Dig was our chief competitor. It wasn't a platform for communities, just a single community, but the social news part was similar enough that everyone called us competitors. You have been visited by the good sleep hamster. Subscribe to Updoot Reddit within the next 8 seconds and you will be blessed with cozy and restful sleeps. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can leave a like or comment and YouTube will show this video to more people. I post new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.